Good morning, everybody. Ah, don't you love having a cold? It just lingers. Like the cold is gone, but all this leftover stuff. So freaking annoying. Yeah. Got as much water and gargling and I'm just whatever. Anyway, good morning to everybody. Morning discussion time. We'll let some people filter in and then we'll officially get started. Man, I just look. Hey, let me show you what it looked like. I got not a meme because there's no text on it. Don't memes have to have text? I think they do. Anyway, that's what I feel like. That guy from Coraline. Yep, not quite that bad, but yeah. Anyway, first of all, huge thank you to the folks that wished me a happy birthday yesterday. Not an attention getting thing. Oh, happy birthday, Mark. I sincerely appreciate it because it just reminds me of how many people really care, seriously. And it's not like if you didn't remember, you didn't know that you don't care. It's more of a solidification that we have this amazing community and how grateful I am that I have this platform, that I have people that are willing to listen and learn and, teach me stuff. I don't know everything. And so it means a lot to make it back around the orbit one more time and reach the fantastic age of 54. I have an anecdote for you, a little comedy, little small piece of humor. So my 9-year-old daughter was asking me, how old are you? And I said 54. And she was concerned. She's like, you're getting old. She realizes she understands the passage of time. And then she said, well, you only look 52. She really said that. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And I told her it's very important um, how you feel. And as long as I don't feel any age other than young and energetic, it's a good thing. So I appreciate that, Daphne. I only look 52, so there you go. They're all at school, so that's good. All right. Let's see who all is here. Let's check, do a little bit of a roll call deal. 55 people in the lecture hall. That's why I like to vision this. Like we start off with a 55 person lecture hall, and then it expands when we get these big hurricanes, a lot of attention. Now we have 64 people. There you go. That's pretty good. And then eventually you get this huge lecture hall of like 300 people. And then, when you get really big, like some of these other YouTubers, then you can start filling up football stadiums. That'd be so neat. I gotta admit, that'd be cool just to be able to talk to that many people and share some insight with them. All right, so who do we got? Warren's on here, Mr. McDoom from down in the Cayman Islands, and Daryl and Will Woodgate, who has graced us with some new stuff on the interactive map. Wild Earth is here. So Wild Earth not still sick, just still lingering. The lingering lingerage. So annoying. Eric Anders, happy birthday, Mark. Thank you. And we have Philip. And I gotta be careful because I'll start repeating names and whatever. And Anthony, I believe you're a ham operator if memory serves, right? I think so. Good to see you, and I appreciate the birthday wishes. And Don down in Orlando, you still in Orlando, Mr. Wilson? Last I checked. All right, we're up to almost 80 people. Again, I try to picture a big lecture hall, and all the students are coming in and filling in the spaces on those different tiers. Like, because a lecture hall, it looks like a mini football stadium or an amphitheater, and the professors down at the bottom, and then everything kind of fans out, and all the students are in these rows that get wider towards the top. Anyway, so let's see. Let's share the old screen here. And if I can remember how to do everything. Um, there we go. Went and saw a movie last night with my wife. This movie called Here with Tom Hanks and Robin Wright from Robert Zemeckis. He likes to do these different time travel stuff type movies. and it's kind of a tearjerker, very melancholy. I don't want to ruin it. A very interesting look at the passage of time. So I did that last night, and then of course I was up late watching the model stuff because we got some action. PTC 18, and probably going to be a hurricane. And so what I want to do in the morning discussion today is just kind of outline what I'm looking at. We'll take a look at the usual stuff, and then sort of what we will be watching over the next several hours before I do the afternoon recorded update. All right. So again, that's how I feel a little bit. Not quite that bad. Hey, wait till Wednesday morning. We're all going to feel like that. Yeah. Tomorrow's the big day. It's Tuesday. That's all I'm going to say. And thank goodness I did not get into politics. Never thought about it. Never did. I was either going to be a musician and a pop star or get into weather. Now I kind of do both because I compose my own music for my documentaries and all that stuff. But yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday morning, man. Can you imagine? Anyway, let's talk weather though. That's what we're here for. Let's get rid of I don't remember it was just Dad. I don't remember his name. Anyway, this is the cool thing that oh boy, I start even talking about uh politics stuff, and what do I get? A text message. How do they get my number? I mean, just report junk, man. Get out of here. This better stop on Wednesday, seriously. I didn't give my number to all these people. Anyway, let's just put the phone over here. All right, it's y'all's time. New stuff on the tracking map from our good friend Will Woodgate over in the UK. We have added the graphical tropical weather outlook polygons, if you will. So that's really neat. They're all clickable. This is on our interactive map, part of our Hurricane Track Insider site. And all of our $10 and up patrons have access to this. This is where our cams go. And I'll show you in case you hadn't seen this before. See, these are where our cameras go when we have them out there. These are our permanent cams. Let's check them. That one's missing. Oh, because they're doing pier refurbishment. But these are back over on the house up there, the Graph family. There's one of them that's looking north. But yep, that's the interactive map. And Will coded all of this up. And boy, do we appreciate it. Let's drop those cams. Move me over here. Drop these out of the way. So we got PTC 18 down here. Not quite a depression or storm yet, but it's getting there. I'll show you the satellite in a minute. It is just slightly on the intermediate advisory to the north and east, only by a few miles, of the main forecast package track. And this is really neat to be able to look at this. And we actually have a little distance calculator. Say, well, how far is it off? It's about 10 miles east of where it should be. So, look out. Huge track change, right? But it is pretty cool that you can see that. That's where it is currently. And then that is the 5 a.m. or whatever the heck time it is, 4 a.m. advisory package, stupid standard time. Tropical storm warning. Love it, Will. You can just mouse over it. And there's your info for Jamaica. And then hurricane watches or warnings now. Sorry, red is warning mark for the Cayman Islands. And it looks like Raphael to be could split the uprights, so to speak, between the eastern side here, the sister islands, Cayman Brac over here, and Grand Cayman. I went down there in July and met with one of our longtime friends and fans of Hurricane Track, Mr. Adam McDoom, and he introduced me to several people in the government and the weather service. And he's got a couple cams down there that record. They don't do live. We're going to get there someday. But we do have some assets in the Cayman Islands if needed. So look, this is forecast to become a hurricane, come over Cuba, get into the Gulf of Mexico. And the official forecast track takes this, kind of suggests that it starts dissipating, I guess. I mean, 65 miles per hour is not dissipated, but I think it's going to be closer up into the northern central Gulf just based on gut feeling, and not all of that. I mean, the GFS suggests that too, and the GFS has had a pretty good handle on this. I got to stop the screen share for a sec because I got to get my telestrator going, and it won't capture everything if I don't have it running. when I do the screen share. So now let's go back. All right, yeah, screen share. There we go. See, now I can draw and you guys can see it. So we'll do a little happy face. That's a terrible happy face. So there it is on the interactive map. We got the potential for a hurricane here, and then we got this next area that looks like it's going to try to develop, all in this very favorable pattern of a upper level divergence in the atmosphere, the favorable MJO, which is pretty much all around this area right now. And so it's kind of no surprise. And then we got an area here in the East Pack that is moving from west to east. Everything's just goofy, isn't it? It's just goofy. It sure is. My distance thing was still on. It's just all wild. And of course it would be. We're in November. It's almost election day, so everything has to be just as crazy as it can be. So here's what it looks like on the satellite. This is the wider shot. Let's create a quick animation. We don't have enough frames to go too deep, so we'll just do the first 15. Thank you, Tropical Tidbits. We'll zoom in on that. So down here, definitely starting to get that curled up look. And the big key here, folks, is when does this develop a core? Always the key to these things. That never changes. So once again, when does this develop a well-defined core? How soon it can do so before Jamaica, before splitting the uprights or whatever. Who knows eventually what will happen with the Cayman Islands. And for Cuba, and then even beyond, the sooner this gets its act together, it goes without saying, the stronger it is likely to become. Uh, and it's trying. It's already got a pretty good little tail here on the backside of it, and sort of that curled up shrimp look, whatever, nautilus, I don't know. Just when you do this long enough, you just know. And that's got the look, and it's over very warm water. Upper level winds are very favorable. Not ideal, but it is November, and this thing's getting ready to go. We will refresh this. This is the high res visible and still kind of loosely defined in terms of time for water. This is annoying. See, I'm not sick. It's that post nasal drip crap. I mean, just awful. Thank goodness I'm not a high paid singer who has a concert tonight or whatever. How do those people do it? I guess they just cancel it, don't they? Anyway, center of circulation in here somewhere. Still kind of loosely defined, but it's getting there. Unlike my voice. Goodness gracious. That's so annoying. It really is. And especially since it's live. When I'm recording these, I can just start over. We're doing it live. So there it is down there. And again, once it develops a core, and we get some little hints of that, what we call these little hot towers here, big areas of deep convection. And once everything starts to close off, that's when we have to start to be concerned. Again, for our friends in Jamaica and eventually the Cayman Islands. I guess I should just hurry up because apparently you know what? It's 9 in the morning. My voice just isn't ready to go. So let's hurry up and get this done, shall we? Track guidance pretty tightly clustered, which is good to see. Even if it's coming at you, you want confidence, okay? That's very important. You don't want it coming at you, but if it is, you want to know that you have confidence in that forecast. And that is very, very important. You don't want to be getting ready and then nothing happens every single time. That gets to be very annoying. So having a confidence in the forecast, I mean, I know this is obvious, but that's very, very important. And you get that confidence when you have a pretty tightly clustered envelope of tracks, especially for the first 3 days, 72 hours, which is roughly right through here. You don't have members of any of these models going over here, some of them over there, up there, whatever. Track forecast confidence is paramount. Absolutely. And the consensus looks to me, let's zoom in on this. I should use the Google Earth version of this at some point. The consensus looks like it does take it right there between the sister islands here and Grand Cayman over here. So the 12Z update to the model plots here, the consensus, the TVCN splits the uprights still. And then this is curious too. Enough of these models do keep the system intact up into the north central Gulf of Mexico. Now wait till I show you some interesting things about that. Luckily, my voice is still cooperating, so we'll keep going. Water temperatures, we talked about this over and over and over, and I mean we have to because it's so important. The anomalies here are still very warm all around the area where this system is organizing. But interestingly enough, relative to average, remember these are anomalies, those anomalies are stronger the farther north you go. Now, let me drop this off because I want to come back when I do my, I have drawing on me. That's no good. There we go. Um, I want to make it clear that even though those anomalies are stronger in the northern Gulf, that's relative to the average. Don't look at that and go, oh man, it's even warmer up there than it is in the Caribbean. No, that is not true. They are warmer than their local averages should be by more of a margin than what we're seeing in the Caribbean. So we go back to sharing the screen here, and you can see that makes sense, hopefully move me out of the way here. So you see what I mean? These deeper oranges and whatever are over here, 2 to 3 degrees Celsius warmer than where they should be, whereas this is 1.5 to 2 or whatever, or half a degree to 1 Celsius. But the water temperatures down here are already warmer. Does that make sense? I think it does. Because normally up here, these would be cooler because they're further north. I guess that makes sense. I'm trying. But also, the point is, should this make it through and get up into this area somewhere in here, yes, the water temperatures are warmer than they should be by 2 to 3 degrees. So, shear and dry air notwithstanding, there's an outside possibility that we could have problems up here, impacts. Maybe Louisiana, maybe Mississippi, maybe Alabama. I don't know for sure. Nobody does for sure. But going back to the plots, we could have some issues over here. And that's a big part of my decision that'll have to be made as to whether or not I go down to Grand Cayman tomorrow morning. If we look like we're going to get activity up here, I kind of got to be there for that. I was talking to Adam earlier, even just a little while ago, about flying down. But I think there's I don't know if I had to put a number on it, 20% chance, in my opinion, that we do have a direct impact, maybe tropical storm conditions. But here's the other thing, the stronger this is, and I know this is like a letter from the Department of the Obvious, but I need to point it out. The stronger this is earlier, the stronger it could be up here. It'll just take a little longer for it to wind down. So yeah, we really do need to watch this. We can't just write it off and say, "Oh, it's November. The waters are cooler." We made that mistake in 2020. I didn't. Some other people did, and I called them out on it. I got some flack for it, but I was like, "No, you can't go in and just say, the waters are cooler. It's later in the season." And you remember what hurricane that was? That was Zeta, and that thing came right in here and that was a category 3 at landfall, folks. Now, this isn't going to do that, I wouldn't think, but we can't just write it off. So here's what it looks like on the 6Z GFS, and we'll revisit this afternoon on the afternoon update. Loosely organized, which is exactly where it is right now. But look, it does come together pretty quick in the model, slides over Cuba, and then moves up into the Gulf. And then look what happens. It stays fairly intact there on the GFS right at the Mobile area Saturday morning. So we'll see. Even there, we go look at the surface. 995 with a big wind field out there to the right. It's pretty shallow shelf water up here in some areas, especially Mobile Bay, the Mississippi Sound. We can't just turn our back on this and go, oh, it's November. Nothing to worry about. Waters are too cold. Really? They're not that cold. I mean, there's the 26 Celsius line right there and 25, 24 in the Mobile Bay. It's not like it's, 50-degree water temperatures like the Gulf of Maine or something. Look, just showing you what I'm seeing. And you got the loop current sitting in here for this to work with. This could be a problem. We'll have to really watch this closely. And I may have to, make plans to go down to Mobile or Gulfport, who knows what, or nowhere. Maybe this does, in fact, come across Cuba and then turn and then die out somewhere over here? We shall see. That's what makes this intriguing, right? We got to watch because we don't know the outcome. Look, this is important too. Wanted to point this out. You saw the over the weekend tornadoes in Oklahoma City, more the vicinity of that area, the tornado capital of the universe, it seems. Today, enhanced risk, the tornado threat, 10% over a pretty big area. And then the wind, straight line wind, downburst, that kind of thing. The threat of hail, not zero, but not typically what you see in the springtime because you just don't have as much of the lapse rates and the upward motion to really develop your tall supercells, but supercells nonetheless that could create some rather nasty tornadoes. So please pay attention to that. This is today. This is election day. Luckily, not too widespread, but still, people trying to get out and vote. Florida, parts of the Gulf Coast states here, Louisiana, and up into Arkansas, just north of the Gulf Coast. Just pay attention to this. The tornado threat, not zero, but you still have to pay attention. All right. Finally, day 3, things start to change a little bit. But look, even down here, starting to look at some potential effects. That marginal down there in the Keys kind of snuck in there. What do you think that's from? Probably from a tropical cyclone approaching that will be named Raphael, right? Right. All right, one more thing to show you. I thought this was really interesting regarding the severe weather, and it is kind of related to the tropics here. Ben Williams, storm chaser. Uh, a lot of people know who that is. Chases um, the all over the place, right? And does a good job. A lot of those folks do. And this is a very interesting post to me. And here's why. Ben says this deep of moisture on November 4th is ridiculous. And you look at this is, let me show you what you're looking at. There's Oklahoma right there. There's the Red River, the Panhandle, Texas over here, Oklahoma, and here's Kansas, right? So these uh, returns here, what do we, is this the dew points? I'm assuming, or is this here? It's got to be the dew point. I don't see a legend, but I'm assuming these are dew points. It could be humidity, but I think it's dew points. So he says it's ridiculous. Well, he's right, but where does it come from? It's this. That's ridiculous. All of that moisture is streaming north out of the Gulf of Mexico, and this goes back to what I showed you just a minute ago. Look at how warm the northern Gulf is relative to average. So Ben is absolutely correct, but it is no surprise. And that's going to help to fuel the severe weather and this is where it's connected, possibly give us a landfall of a named system in November. Possibly. We shall see. Very interesting stuff. Wouldn't you agree? I think so. Jump back over on the YouTube, see what you guys are talking about. 110. All right. The lecture hall has filled up considerably. I love it. It's just really neat. It really is. And hey, look, the more I talk, the better my throat clears up. That's all it is. I got to go like for a bike ride, or I hate running, but I got to like maybe some calisthenics when I have a cold and after the cold, and then the stuff gets worked out. Anyway, let's see what Adam's saying. Mark, we have a confirmed vortex message from the Hurricane Hunter. So it's at 14.9, 76.5. So I guess there is a center there. Let's go over here. Hurricane Center homepage. Any updates? No. All right. So it's getting there. Very interesting stuff, Adam. Deborah Clifton, good to see you, by the way. Hello to you. Yeah, really, I know how she does not like those tornadoes. Who does, right? East Pacific Invest Area 93, moving from west to east. That's weird, isn't it? Currently on a Royal Caribbean cruise here in Cozumel. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thanks for checking in. What boat are you on, Cassie? I'm due to get on a boat in December and head down to see Adam in the Cayman Islands, by the way. I'm going to be on the Independence with my wife, our annual little vacation together. Normally we go to Las Vegas, but this year she wanted to do something in the Caribbean. So we're going to get on the Independence of the Seas and head down to Jamaica and Grand Cayman, and we'll see Adam McDoom, as long as the tropics don't mess things up down there, right? And Catherine over in the UK, good to see you. So yeah, that's all the stuff I'm looking at. Let me get back over here My Zoom. There we go. I want to see myself while I'm talking. Let's get rid of the telestrator. We don't need that anymore. Throat made it through it. Again, not sick anymore. It's just that leftover stuff. So we'll watch and see what happens. Recon's down there. They're checking things out. A couple of important things about Recon. They do have the ability to feed data into the models now from these planes. So that certainly helps. So the 12Z models should be infused with more data. And that means we can have a little bit more believability going forward. So the 12Z runs of the global models, especially the GFS, because I got to hand it to the GFS. It has done a really good job at picking out from this big mess of energy that was down there that this one piece would sort of pinch off and become the dominant feature. And that's what has happened. The Euro seems to always play catch up when we get to these genesis points of our tropical systems. So we'll see. We'll see how all that plays out, what the runs show for our friends in Jamaica and then the Cayman Islands and Cuba. And then, of course, all eyes will be on maybe somewhere along the central Gulf Coast. I will be back this afternoon, of course, with the regular recorded update, and we'll know more then. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let me first kill the video feed. There we go. And get back over to my exit screen. That'll help. And then I can say my goodbyes. So you guys have a good rest of your Monday. And if you're over in the severe weather threat area, please do be careful. You know the drill. Keep an eye on your phone, your NOAA weather radio, whatever, because hey, if you're not alive, you can't subscribe. I need that on a t-shirt. That's mine. That's my slogan. Because I do want you to be safe. Seriously, that's the whole point of doing all this. Keep you informed first, and then as you are informed, you can hopefully stay safe. All right. So that's it for me for this morning. Have a good rest of your Monday morning. I'll be back this afternoon with the regular video update then, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.